whoever it was. Okay, we've got, what do we have? We've got call to order. We have the roll call being taken.
Anyone online?
I don't see anybody online.
I look like I just got out of bed. I was dressed once today. It was too hot. I went home and said, that's it. All closed tonight.
And my name's Groton's. Oh, okay.
Let's talk about that.
That's it.
You want to talk about something while he's getting that going a little bit more?
No, I think we're
Also-
on already, right?
Yeah,
We're on,
Oh.
we're on.
nobody's listening in.
All we have
Oh,
to do is
That's
approval,
good.
approval of minutes,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the next thing. I wasn't even
Yeah.
here for the last minutes. I have no idea what they are.
This was April.
We
Okay,
canceled.
all right, we have a quorum after our roll call. And did anybody review the wonderful minutes from last month
Absolutely.
meeting?
Who really reads them?
Any changes, any suggestions? Everything okay?
Yep.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion that
I'll
we,
move the minutes.
okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
I,
Okay. Okay, I have a little bit of a, just one second. A little bit of a financial update. I
yay,
hope I brought everything.
yay.
Yeah. So I thought that, I might, what I do is pass it around and everybody could take a look at it, and our secretary.
I'll take a picture of it.
This is what we have to work with right now for murals, whatever, but this is the money. It's a little over $3,000. This is the money that we have to use by the end of the month. So I'm suggesting that some of that could be for the mural that we hope to do at the town hall. And I didn't know if we could, as you all have to tell me, if we could go ahead and purchase some trees for what we hope to do.
You can't purchase trees if you don't know where you're putting them.
Well, I know where I'm putting them. Okay.
Okay.
No, we talked about putting them down in front of the Groton Shopping Plaza. And I spoke to the town and they don't own any land down there, so it's just between us and the person that owns Groton Shopping Plaza. And when we had a conversation with him sometime back, he was very happy to work with us on it. Of course, because it'll make this place look better. But I don't know how others feel about that, so.
I feel very strongly we have no business purchasing trees for private property from town funds. Can you imagine the whiplash on that?
We might have some, but some people might be happy that it looks better. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, so I'm not gonna, not gonna push to make that happen. I was just hoping to make the downtown, some of it looks pretty good and some of it looks pretty bad. And I appreciate the fact that you've gone around and talked to a lot of the people and made suggestions as to what they can do.
In
So-
that plaza, in
Yeah.
that plaza, I mean, yeah,
Right.
there's some business owners there who were helping with flowering, hanging pots. And they have pots in front of the building. They're gonna, jazz it up a bit. And, we helped with ideas on what kind of plants to put in there. But there's alternatives to this shopping plaza. I mean, we talked about putting more trees on Fort Hill Road, against the fence there. Also down on the end of the road were Sins, is that how you say that road? Virgin,
Oh, yeah.
That
Dennis or something like
Dennis,
that.
yeah, that road, the French name.
When everybody like just blows through that light or whatever it is there.
Yeah,
Where are we
yeah.
talking?
It's on Fort
So,
Hill and
Right
it's on,
across from that Mystic Market place that,
The bridge?
the bridge,
Bridge
the
Market.
bridge,
the
yeah.
bridge, yeah.
So there's a corner there where the man has not put a fence up and it's kind of unsightly. And so that's where we're getting a lot of complaints, is about that one block there now that doesn't have a fence. We could put some trees there. But we need someone to work with us from the town to tell us where the lines are and who's gonna plant it. So this is the same thing that held us up. You know, we need to have somebody to come out with us. I have a list of all the trees that are,
How about a little grove there, you know, I mean, really like a focal point as opposed to just like trees. Make that where people come into town when that sign ever gets put up there, not up there, right?
And,
No.
and are we gonna get blowback by the same group that complained when we were just thinking of looking at a fence?
well,
No,
when you think of it, we've made a lot of progress since then, so,
We're
and.
still getting blowback. They still post it in the New London Day, just so you know.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
We still get blowback. It's still being posted in the New London Day under the comment section, so,
Okay.
What
Well,
about the fence?
yes.
Really?
Even though we were just planning it, and then
None
there's
of these people are even here.
three families have gone with their own,
fence and their
Yeah,
own
Monty.
idea.
so that's what I just,
I think
Jeez.
we may run into the same thing.
With trees, planting trees there.
I don't know how much the town owns. If the town owns something, then would be all right.
Can we get a town person to work with us and we can show them where we're thinking of planting trees, some down by Esker Point?
They must have
Somebody.
that, they must know that cold, that area down. There must be somebody like Deb Jones. I mean, I can't believe that town is like bereft of any information about what goes on down there and what they own and don't own.
Can it go on the
That's-
state property?
We have to ask the state.
I mean, that's the bigger part. That's the bigger planting section, right?
Which one are we talking about?
I'm sorry, downtown Groton, where you originally had mentioned.
Yeah,
You said part of
The
it's state and part of it belongs to the
Right.
owner of the property.
I could, I understand the new gentleman that's here for the Department of Transportation, because that's who we'd have to talk to, is very nice. I have
Very
not met him, but I'd be. Did you ever talk to him?
I did talk to him. I talked to him
Okay.
about that right at the corner here, up at the corner, the island that's in the middle of the road. As to like, are they gonna fix it? Or are they gonna fix the outside? So he promised he would do something. But I'll talk to you about another time about that. That's a whole
Okay.
different discussion.
Well,
Hmm.
I can check with the Department of Transportation, or you can call them if you want, and see if they could meet us down there and tell us where we could put some trees in the places that you'd like to do it.
Just a thought, I mean. State versus private property, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel?
well, if.
I would never vote for any money that we get to spend on private property.
if-
Okay,
if-
we heard
if-
that.
If,
We
if,
heard that.
That's a
if,
nightmare.
if it's town property,
There's no town property.
because around the sign, they put stakes there for us and up to the sidewalk, but I don't know if that's the same.
All the way down. That's what I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it changes as you go down.
Yeah, that's what we just have to have them tell us.
Are you talking about where 117 and Route 1 meet?
Yes,
We
Mhm.
have a plant.
No, we could go to the left or the right of that and plant more trees.
There are trees there.
Yeah.
Have you looked?
Yeah, but we would do some more evergreens or something, more of those against the fence. It would just warm it up instead of they're fairly dead evergreens there now. The bottom is completely,
They've been limbed.
they've been chopped.
They've been limbed.
So there's nothing there but that's a bare stalk. And then there's a little bit of evergreen on the top. So it's
Palm trees would look great.
palm trees, the man from Florida said.
All
So,
right,
yeah, we just need a
so
person. Can we make a motion that we're gonna meet with a person and on site? And then maybe we can have just a little review of where it has to be quick because we're running out of time. Spend the money.
Well, what about the mural that we wanted to do? I mean, this has got to be put together by 6:30,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's this month.
We've got it though. We've actually got something going, so I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
All right, let me finish with the financial, if we can. Also, we have an amount for things we'd like to do, of course, for the town's approval, but we have $33,568.46. So we have monies to work with.
Is that,
That's NIPS money?
that must be NIPS.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that has to be specific to,
It has to be beautification.
it has to be
No.
Gotta be something to do with recycling.
exactly recycling or litter or something like that. If that is NIPS money,
Well,
that can,
I'll
that
tell
has
you
very
what,
specific use.
I will have her
right?
break it down, because we had money before we got NIP money. So I think we had about,
Oh,
I think
we
we had
never saw
about,
this before.
I think we had about 17,000 before they added some NIP money. So what we can do is we can find out what the guidelines are for the NIP money.
Does anybody want to see this?
But that doesn't end in any time, that just stays
No.
put.
Yeah.
But this 3,477, we have to have contracts by the end of this month.
Right.
I think we're gonna be able to do that. Between the trees and the mural.
Mhm.
All right, we'll get the guidelines for the NIP money, and then, but right now what we can do is concentrate on using the money that we have for a limited period of time. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
So, let's see, yeah. Okay, we're doing financial update. Now we're doing new business. And, under communications, if I might, there was a lady that got in touch with me. And, I told her that I would mention it tonight at the meeting. She's an older lady, very, very nice, but not able to walk very well, but she's still able to drive. And she's very distressed about how the entrance to the Fitch looks. She said there's no warmth, there's no flowers, there's no nothing. So I said, I would be happy to bring it up for discussion tonight.
And we've had 3 or 4 other complaints and communications about Fitch in the past 3
Senior,
months.
Fitch Senior.
Yeah, and we also, they have a wall that they're not taking care of the gutters. So it's discoloring the wall. Now, Board of Education has no money to do anything. It would be an absolute waste of time to talk with them about it because of the cuts that they had in their budget. I don't, although I will talk to the gentleman that's on the board that's in charge of this type of thing, if you wish me to. It's, I'm bringing it here for your discussion.
Well, that's the same
What are
type
we
of
gonna do,
stuff.
power wash
It's similar stuff as at town hall.
All the buildings,
It's,
They're all like that.
they're all
yeah,
like that.
It's pretty bad though. That's one big white wall where it's all dripping down on it. Yeah.
The perfect place to put planters or something. I mean, it's just prized for something like that.
You know, you could put something that goes up, like, espalier that you plant up and then the plants go sideways or something,
Well, we
Is
could
there-
plant English ivy, you never
Ivy.
see it.
Yeah.
We can brick face it. Is there even anything to plant there? It looks like it's all hard space right up to it.
Yeah, it doesn't look, unless it's planters.
So do you see any
Big
grasses
plant.
or something?
Big.
No, but this could
We
be a
had-
drop off.
Yeah, I can't tell. Yeah, you can't.
Do you want to,
Well, I
Buildings.
think maybe what we might do is before our next meeting, maybe we could meet up there, take a look at it, and I'll try to get the gentleman that's in charge of the care of the buildings to meet with us.
Sure.
I'd like that.
Sure.
Okay,
Why don't we make a motion and do that?
plus there's that article in the paper about a club up at the high school that went and cleaned up a lot of, around the football, the different fields and whatnot. Would there be a student group that we could,
Tie in with.
again, if they have ownership, if the kids could say, this is our project, we
Right.
could get, I think they would also participate.
that's an excellent idea.
Mm-hmm.
People that complained before were from Noe. And they said they go up there to vote and stuff, and they said it looks They're embarrassed. It's
Mhm.
bad looking.
So, and I know they have the, you know, the light up sign up there that they can change and put up things, but there's nothing there either that looks attractive. So, I don't know, should we start with a meeting up there to see what,
Let's try to address that front prison-like view that a lot of people have complained about, like, please, if you beautify, do something.
Maybe they should do it before graduation.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
yeah, we.
it's shameful.
Let's
I
meet with,
expect
let's meet with somebody.
graduation's probably next week.
Yeah, I know, that's
Well,
amazing.
that's 1 year Cindy got a call when they just put in the
The
middle
guard-
school.
Right,
And there was nothing in the planner. I think Cindy, did you go up there with her?
no, I
or-
wasn't even around.
Yeah,
I think Rachel did. I don't know.
They planted those evergreens on the side of the road and then a couple of them died. And I did talk to the man and say, it's time to take them out. So he did, you know, he did listen to input. I'm sure he's a nice man. Let's meet with him. Sounds like a great idea.
Well, how many would, I'm trying to think of the gentleman's name that's on the Board of Education that does all the maintenance. Laughlin? Laughlin?
What department is in charge of the exterior of buildings?
Fitch.
That's Jimmy, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Well, that would be a first place to talk.
Whoever's in charge of the exterior, I have no idea at all. But that's, seems to me, who you'd have to talk to before you even thought about something.
All right,
Sharon,
how about if we
Let's see.
start by
can I
calling
look
Bev
at your agenda for
Washington?
just a minute? I left mine at home.
She's the head of the Board of Education.
Beverly, no, that's not Beverly Washington.
Yeah, what
Adrian
is it?
Johnson is,
Thanks.
Right?
Adrian Johnson's number 2.
Bev is the head of, she's the, I don't know what her title is, but she's the one that's, well, she's the one that comes to the council meetings and speaks for the board, so I would
Okay.
think.
And
she
who
was-
wants to take this on? Like, if somebody want to take it as their own little special project? The right person for a meeting?
I'll make a call. I'll make a call, see what kind of information I can get and I'll send it out.
Okay.
Okay. I'll let her know that we're looking into it and we're gonna see what we can or we can't do.
Any other communications?
Okay. Moving on, review of project update on statue for Little League. Did you make that call?
I did.
What did he say?
They have to check.
They have the check?
Who has
Thank
it?
God.
Randolph Rose or the town of Groton?
Pardon me?
Randolph Rose.
I called the Rose.
Randolph Rose
Yeah.
has the check.
And how was
I
he?
have no idea what else is going on with them. I mean, if they're gonna, when they're gonna send it, who's gonna, receive it here. I don't know anything
Oh,
about that.
that actually has been worked out with the Parks and Rec
Okay,
Department.
good.
They have a place to put it. When it's delivered, they'll accept delivery, they'll put it in a storage place that they have, and then we'll go forward
Okay.
with getting it set up.
Okay,
I'm impressed.
check. Okay, sounds good.
Thank you very much. The review of projects all clean up, done. That probably doesn't spell out right correctly, but what that was is we have different places that we have done and it was mentioned that who was involved in it should be the one that's responsible for watering. I talked to, Lean. Arlene, thank you.
Ollie.
I
She
remember,
used to do
Lillian. Right,
Yeah.
Sutton Park.
yeah, well, she and I are gonna go do it. I talked to her today and I said, look, I don't know I planted it, but I didn't know what they were. So she and I are gonna go down and clean it up, see what it looks like. And, she puts all her time now into the food for families. So she's really dedicated to that now. So, but we do need a list of who did what or who's taking care of what so that we can, and Jim, I think you two know more about it than anybody else.
Us two and her, because sorry, Shirley, because she's got her gardens that you take care of. We've been doing, yeah, I mean,
So do you think we could, make
You
up?
got the upper part and I'll take. the lower
exactly,
part.
right.
You
So
suppose we could make up a
If it's up
list?
to-
I
you
did
get
write
it.
up a list and I want to run
wonderful.
already, and I want to run it by everybody. Make sure I'm not missing anything.
Please do.
The ones that I have is top of Fort Hill. Police Department. The Town Hall Annex. Now, I'll send this out to you. You don't have to.
Oh,
hear.
okay.
Town Hall Annex. Now, there's 3 different sections. There's potted plants, which you care for, and you'll continue to care for.
13 potted plants, yeah.
Okay. The flagpole area, right, which I've basically been doing. I always ask Jim if he wants to help, and he always does. So he's a wonderful man there. The new garden area, which is only a third of what's out there, right? So
At where?
the new garden area, the one we want to finish,
Right
But
across
that-
the park.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, right out
Okay.
The
here,
one that's full of mugwort.
right, up until where we clean out.
Yeah. yeah.
Well, wait.
Yeah, I know, I don't even want to look because of the sun came out, I know. The Spicer House,
Who does the Spicer House?
Cindy and I used to do it all the time, so I've
So
been
I
doing it
can
and Jim
help it
came
with you.
down.
We have to first find out where it is, but.
Yep.
okay with that.
The Route 117 sign. There's a John Kelly statue in Mystic, which Cindy used to do.
I'll
Is
take
your
a
friend-
walk over there tomorrow.
In
If it
good
doesn't
shape.
rain too
Did
early.
they ever get any, oh, please finish the list. for
Par
me.
4,
Mhm.
Yeah, I spent 2 hours there this morning.
Burroughs Field.
Have a beer while you're
That's
there.
mine.
And I question, is the community center, is that just you or is that beautification?
I do the community center.
Okay, do we put that on a beautification list? Because I know you did it, or the library is the one I'm thinking, library.
I don't do the library.
No, the
I do
library's
the
another
senior
garden.
Senior
and
center.
the War Memorial.
Okay, so let me put senior center. Senior,
Yeah, you have to put a jacket on her, a bright jacket on her. so you
senior
Drive right
center,
over it.
and that's the Avery War Memorial?
No,
That's in
No.
between.
No, there's.
between the library and the.
Okay,
Yeah.
Memorial,
They have a group, don't they, that takes care of that, or do you do
They're
that,
like-
Shirley?
library.
Do you do anything where the flagpoles are?
Yeah, that's what I do.
So with that said, can I make a proposal?
Sure.
I thought we should, which you kind of just brought up, we create a registry of all the beautification gardens and assign adopters for each garden. Someone needs to maintain the registry and list of adopters. I'll be happy to do that. If somebody else wants to do it, have at it. Provide this registry to P&R just out of courtesy, Parks and Recs, so they know who is working on what gardens.
That would be an excellent idea.
Um,
And are we allowed to get some help? I
well,
mean, like,
this-
I would like to have some more volunteers. And I would be glad to supervise my volunteers.
Right.
on the- this-
You might run into a situation because
So-
of what happened with you.
right, so, this doesn't mean that the adopters have to do all the work themselves. But it is their responsibility to periodically check the garden, do normal maintenance, and reach out to the BC or other friends to help if needed. Okay? The adopters should check in with the BC when a large garden cleanup is done, so we aren't wondering if it's been done. So like if I do the police department, I send it out, we did the police department, that type of thing.
And we could, whatever is happening or being done, maybe we could let you know and you could put it in the minutes.
I think it also should be on your Facebook account. Is that what you have for beautification committee?
What do you mean? What
You
would
have
be
like
on
a,
that?
what's outreach that you have?
Well,
And you say, we've completed this and this and this.
I
and
do all the time.
We could, yeah,
Yeah, if you guys would log on, you'd see all the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always posting out there, so.
I don't think,
That's-
I don't know if I'm friends with that with.
You
Just go out and look. Yeah, it's, you know, that's how we've kept track of everything that we've done is
Yeah.
on the Facebook page, and that's
I
where all
will-
the pictures are, and
I will correct that tomorrow.
Instagram.
Can we have the town clean up, because it was embarrassing, Esker Point Beach, looking at that. We'll take over after the town takes care of the poison ivy,
Oh,
or,
so, well, so let me just finish what I was
Okay,
doing
sorry.
here. So I thought with that community bulletin board that used, that little piece of, on the New London
Yep.
Day,
Mhm.
we'll put out a call for help for people that want to help us. Maybe they'll even adopt a garden, because this is, we got a lot of gardens, and we also have lives outside, you know, to take care of.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd do it on that. I'll create a little flyer and then I'll put that on Facebook saying, you know, if you're interested, I don't know if anybody's gonna jump at it, but at least we can maybe get some other people involved that will say, hey, I'll take care of this garden, so that we can move on to other stuff like down at Esker Point and any of the other places that maybe we'd like to do, but we need more help.
We do.
We can't,
But we need to call out for volunteers, but this may be a wonderful way to
well, that's
Yeah.
what I thought, yeah,
start listing and locations.
right.
And if it's close to someone's house or they have
Yeah,
a
you
deer,
might wanna-
they drive by it and they like.
Right. So I think what's important now is to know who of this group wants to own what, you know, right? Does that
Okay.
make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to adopt an area, be
Right.
responsible for taking care of the weeding, the watering, the grooming and all that has to.
Exactly. And
There's
if,
no question that you have to know who's taking care of it.
right, and if, you know, we should kind of make sure we back each other up too, because like one of the problems I have is I leave at the end of October. I'm not there to trim down stuff or anything, so there's gotta be somebody that can,
Tag and say, you're.
I'm going or something, or, you know, somebody's going on vacation for 3 weeks and it's a dry spell, hey, can you fill in water for me? You know, that type of thing, so. I mean, I don't know how else to do that, you know, does that?
Allowed to have.
I know.
we also have, what you're doing is absolutely excellent. I just want to mention that there was some gardens started that were never followed up on. Like over on Indian Field Road,
Oh.
there's a
Yeah,
circle there. And
yes.
I don't know who planted in there.
Well, that was done before Cindy, right?
Before what?
Before Cindy was chair.
Yeah, I think it was Rachel, actually.
I know the
Yeah.
history of that. I wasn't here then, but I was told that it was, Rachel worked with on those two islands down there, and that the community, they would take it over from there. That was their responsibility. It was done with the idea that it was their responsibility to keep them nice and everything.
Well, they haven't, so,
was that a memorial garden too? There was somebody
I don't
that
know.
was a police officer or something?
That's all
I have somebody that might take that on for us. I have a friend that lives down there and she just got a new hip. But once it gets a little bit better, because she's excellent with that type of thing, so, I'll see if maybe I can't get,
I just don't think we can take any more on until we get more volunteers.
no, I agree. But if I can get her, she lives there, she walks her dog there twice a day, so,
That's the best kind of person because it's right in their backyard.
Neighborhood,
Yeah.
They
right?
don't have
Yeah.
to travel.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm concerned, remember what you said to me when we were.
Oh,
Spicer
yes, that's
House?
the other thing. When we
This
were at,
is-
when
this
we
is-
were at Spicer House, Jim was down at Spicer House. And he had to fill out a form for that day. Okay, let me step back. When we did the
Okay.
police department, they give us forms that everybody has to sign for liability that were working there.
So
So
1 day form.
1 day form. And so we did that. We always have done that in the past when we start new projects or do big cleanups. We went down to the Spicer House and Jim was down there and he was told he had to fill out a form just for that 1 day. Then I went down and they said, you have to fill out a form every time you go onto any of these locations. Manually write a form and bring it to the Spicer House and drop it off. I asked Mark, I mean, that to me backs me right out of wanting to
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
I asked if it could be an annual thing or a seasonal thing, and I understand if we get some newbies in or anything, that
Mhm.
that for just a day. But-
This should be clarified before you put an
Yeah.
announcement for volunteers, or we're going to not look very smart.
Yeah. So I,
They were saying it was insurance reasons. They said daily form. Again,
Daily
Mark was
form.
one that ended up modifying the police form for Spicer House for the one day I was
Yeah.
there.
We have to go in and
All
get a
right, we'll
form
see.
before you start working.
Yes.
I'll request that they look
Clarify.
into changing it to an annual permission, except for when we're doing a large
big
one.
project,
And that day we'll have whoever's coming to clean up, sign one.
Or
'Cause-
if they give us a blank form, we can fill in.
I don't wanna have to keep dropping them down.
Well, I don't
That's a
either, but-
maintenance nightmare.
Yes.
And I mean, a lot of times, I'm sure we just, oh, I think I'll go up and
Yeah.
clean
Yeah.
out, I got some time today, I wanna go up and clean up, a
The-
garden.
That's how I do it.
To have to fill out a form is,
That
Okay,
just
so
can-
the only time something's been said is when you're at the Spicer House.
well, in previous times when we've had big projects, we've
Yeah.
always had the forms for all the volunteers to sign and we drop them off at the Spicer House. This is the first time that you experienced it and then I experienced it for just going down to do some cleanup by ourselves.
Okay,
I mean, that's gonna really squash any enthusiasm.
Yeah.
right.
Because
Yeah.
this morning I said, okay, I'll take care of part 4, and it,
Right.
if I had to go to Spicer House, fill out a form, then go to, I said, forget it, you can have the weeds.
Sure.
Let's,
Mm.
let's see,
Or-
maybe Missy and I can meet with them, or you and I can meet with them, and, we'll talk with them and say, look, this is so spontaneous many times.
Yeah.
If you want us to do it, we gotta work something out, because we can't come and try to find somebody every time we want to try to clean up a little bit.
Yeah, I work on Sundays because there's nobody at the community, at the senior center,
Yeah,
and that
now,
would
he
just,
knows you work over the year, he never asked you to do anything.
well, I had to have a background check. I'm required to wear the vest.
Yes,
I've been registered with Park and Rec, and every year they make me sign this form. I don't know about the rest of you, because none of you had to have a background check.
background check, clean up junk. Okay, let's see if we just can't get an annual, except when we're doing a larger cleanup and get rid of that problem.
Or
Sure.
even
Or
give
maybe
permission
you
to
just
say,
Clarify what's happened.
or send a text to somebody that I'm at the so-and-so beautification.
They
I'm
just-
out today.
They
It
want,
would be nice
if
if
you
if we
hurt
had little
yourself-
cards for us and then identified us as beautification committee members. And we only get
Tell
that
me where the
once they give
shirts-
you the insurance.
Oh.
You
See, you told
clearance.
me I had to wear the vest.
yeah,
I think in
So-
most of our departments, we got too many, chiefs, not enough Indians.
thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot all about
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't go ask the
Yeah.
volunteers. if
No,
you
you're
haven't
right,
got
you're
that
right.
clarified.
I had another request, there's a small garden in Paquonic Bridge that apparently some lady did it, and she's not well now. And I don't know where it is. I'll try to find out exactly where it is. It's up, there's a circle, I think maybe it's in the circle down there. Roscoe was the one that called me about it. And so I'll try to
You didn't
find,
say which road intersections or.
he said to me, oh, you know where it is. I'd stop and think for a minute what he
Not that
said.
one.
Yeah, so I'll find out. Location.
And they want us to clean it up?
Yeah. Yeah, and I said to him, I think you ought to get some of your neighbors involved in it, but let's work on it the best we can together. Also, Roscoe invited anybody that might be interested to perhaps take a ride through Paquonic Bridge and go down some of the little dead end streets, because he said many of the people now have done beautiful jobs in their yards.
Oh,
And he'd really like people to,
maybe perhaps to get an award.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like that very much.
I thought it was very interesting. He said that, down there, they have a lot of new citizens of of America. I think that's the best way to put it. And they're so proud to have something. They're taking wonderful care of.
Oh,
the
that's great.
homeless.
See, I never even,
And, and. Very,
We're ready to give out some more awards, so
Yeah,
that could be,
That would be wonderful.
I can take a look at that and see what we can, you have to tell me where to go.
Okay.
I just,
Just help me out.
The map out and try to figure out all the streets back there.
There's a lot, yeah, you
Yeah.
get lost back there.
Oh, great.
You know, it's really a shame, I'll say it here, you know, like the gas station, the guy's always done such a nice job, keeps it looking so well. And other places that you see. And
all the
So-
gas stations are doing the same thing. I was noticing.
yeah,
are they?
yeah,
I don't know whether gas station people talk to each other.
Nice.
I'm sure they do. They're probably a little upset about,
All
How
the
come
new
they
ones.
got an award?
yeah.
Well, if they keep doing it, then they will.
So they
get
will
it,
get award,
right? I
yeah.
think that's the whole
If
point.
you find one, if you see one
Well, they,
that really deserves, I'm ready for some more awards, so we're ready to.
I don't know who's in charge of it, and I don't know whose responsibility is with Parks and Rec, because I don't know who's supposed to do what. But if you go to some of our parks now, like down across from Sutton, what's the one across from Sutton?
Quantic Plains.
Like Quantic Plains, you go to drive, I was sitting at the light coming out, and I was sitting there looking, it's all overgrown. It's out into the street, it looks horrible. So, I think we're gonna have to try to put together a cleanup day, just do entrances to the town properties, just trimming them, not planting, just trimming.
Well,
Oh,
Shouldn't that be their responsibility?
so-
technically, we can't operate power tools. That's a town employee. That's part of the from town employees versus volunteers.
well, we don't do power tools anyway.
No.
If you start turning stuff back at
So it
entrances.
depends on what you're
Yeah.
trimming.
Well, maybe y'all can take a look at it and see if you agree with me that something needs to be done, and the only way it's gonna be done is if we do it.
No, I think we can send a letter from the Beautification Committee saying that we talked about it and we've decided that something needs to be done and we'd like to address it, but we can't do it, so we need to have a discussion with you as to what we could do.
At Paquonic Plains Park, there's that giant planter, and that's
That's
a
done by
garden,
Groton.
that's,
That is
Garden
really.
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
that.
which-
Beautiful.
which looks
is.
very nice.
Trillium Garden.
The same
does
thing, I
that.
think Trillium does the garden
Library.
outside of the library.
And they do a house.
So somebody does that park down there that I'm talking about?
So
Just
the round
the
circle,
circle.
just the circle.
Oh, the
They
circle.
planted a tree and all the flowers.
Raised
Beautiful
circle
planter.
Yeah.
plant.
Yeah.
Trillium Garden Club.
Yeah.
They also do a
Right.
historic house. What's the historic, it's not Spicer.
No,
House.
if we have something like that, we can propose it for the Mystic Garden Club. They're always looking for money to give back to the town, but we have to come up with an idea, a proposal, a space, a planter or something, and they will give us money.
I'm gonna.
See, isn't the solution?
Yeah.
You
No.
have $1 million and you can make a beautiful planter. If nobody takes care of it, you have thrown your money away.
Right.
I personally would have, for me, I would have a problem cutting back brush and stuff going into a
No,
park.
it's not ours.
I just, I mean, that's really physical labor that is,
Men are hired for that in the town, so they should.
they
be doing
are.
that.
and-
People are hired.
Thank
people
you,
are
thank
hired.
you. thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Put me in my
I mean,
place.
we did like, I mean, we took care of the places that we have here, which was just as messy as that. The police department was just a wild mess. Spicer Park, which used to be a garden at one time, Spicer House was a wild mess, and we I
It
mean,
looks very nice.
Well,
it
plus-
does, but did you see what it looked like before? It was all vines all around the birch and all just, it was mounds of garbage. At least when you're making gardens, that's one thing, but to start cutting back
Yeah, I don't,
entrance ways and
I have to
stuff.
agree with her. I don't
I-
want to do
That's
that.
fine.
Well,
That's
and,
fine.
and we have,
I'm curious about what you're talking about. The entrance to Aquanic Plains Park
Yeah,
where the building is.
Yeah.
That's the town's crew.
I know. but it's not being done.
But we can make a letter. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
we can
yeah, I
start
think
writing
that's an
letters.
excellent idea,
I think we
and,
can write a letter.
why don't you two work on that? Would that be all right? I hate to do that, because when somebody brings something up, I don't wanna make it their job necessarily, but
Okay,
I think you would do a,
I think you're gonna create some resentment because
yeah.
we're criticizing town employees not doing their job. And that may come across
you can be very
You word it
flattering.
right, it'd be
You can
okay if
very
you word it
flattering in
right.
a
if you
letter.
word it right.
They know that. They know it anyway. Sure.
I mean,
You know,
There-
we
They
can just say that we had a concern, and we'd be happy to come and talk with them. And, you know, that we could work together.
Give them some pointers.
oh God.
No, no,
Listen, I
That's-
just want to share something with you, if you give me a minute. I was very frustrated with some of the places that I work and take care of, very frustrated. And I have a friend, and I was telling her how frustrated I was, this, that, and the next thing, and I said, they don't do what, they don't cut back what they're supposed to cut back, they cut back what they're not supposed to cut back. And I'm frustrated, and I'm telling my friend, well, she told a friend who told a friend who told the employees.
Oh, good.
No, that's not good. That's never good.
Nothing good came out of that, Shirley?
When it
Well,
gets-
now you put it on TV, so.
Oh, why didn't you tell me?
There's, well, that's like, I think technically we got turned over Avery Memorial too, which is a huge area. And I don't even want the thought of
Avery.
That's the one at the
The-
corner of Peconic Road.
corner
Yeah.
of CVS opposite
But
that.
that's all
Right.
wetlands.
Staff.
That's wetlands, we can't. do
Well,
that.
but there's an area there, but I don't even want to take the responsibility because that would be almost a daily trash pickup.
They gave us so much aggravation when we went over there initially.
Correct,
Yeah.
but
You don't want to even get involved in that one.
But they turned over the Avery.
we didn't accept it, did
No,
we?
we didn't.
We
No,
did not
it-
accept
it-
it.
Still those people.
It was in that package that I got from Cindy. There was a letter that turned, I think it,
What it was is the Avery group said that if we cleaned it up and marked where it could be taken care of, and we did get a map from here, Deb did a map
Yeah.
for us, that they would take care of it.
okay,
I don't know if the communication dropped off at that point, but they have people they hire that comes and takes care of theirs, and they said that they would just go over and, because mostly it would just be keeping the path where the little
Correct.
bridge is open.
Yeah.
And the only other thing we wanted to do at that time was to put work a little on the stairs with the town doing the work, so that people could get down, and we'd put a bench down there for them to sit on, because it's such a pretty little spot. But,
Mhm.
as many things happen,
Mhm.
Mhm.
probably the communication didn't get done with Avery. And I don't know who takes care of theirs.
Well, I think the family who are members pay
Mhm.
a contractor
Right, right.
and.
But I don't know any of the Averys anymore. All the Averys that I know are deceased,
Oh,
so,
there've gotta be some living.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so is that in our
Being
list?
mowed.
Is that on our list of gardens that we're responsible for? No.
no.
So let's not add it on right now, right? 'Cause we can't
Well,
handle it.
we're just having a discussion. We're not adding it. We were just having a discussion and, trying to share with you what had been done.
Uh-huh.
And
It's
it-
very disappointing because that is a prime corner and we can't touch it because it's wetlands and it's full of poison ivy. It's a prime location.
Yep.
Everybody sees that.
No,
Well-
I agree, but,
I don't mind it looking natural. I don't mind the wooded and the natural look at all.
It's got
You know
beautiful
who
fern
we
throughout the whole thing.
You know,
just-
Yeah.
who
just
worked
fern.
with us on that, though, was Public Works.
Yeah.
So we could remind them of what was supposed to happen. If I have an opportunity, I could talk to, who was Cindy's friend? Runs Public Works.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
Glenn? Glenn?
Corinne. The Corinne you're thinking of?
No. Public Works.
Greg Hanover?
Hmm?
Greg Hanover?
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the, shall we talk about the mural?
What's that, baby?
Sure.
Oh,
So sorry.
Okay. We're in a time crunch here, but, I think we just need to find, and set up a contract by the end of this month.
Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because I'm completely ignorant about this and
Okay,
really, that's kind of why I'm on the committee.
right.
You know, not
Okay.
to be informed about any of this stuff going on is.
Well, nothing's really going on yet, but you might be called upon to help with the final touches here. So, I spoke with one, muralist, Cam Boards, who also owns a store as a business for signs. So he's, very well thought of. I completely remember checking him out when we were still doing the murals, and I had his contact information. And I called him, and he was very excited about the concept that there are servicemen who come in that have, weddings at the last moment, and that even you supposedly, you told me stories about young
Oh, yeah.
couples.
I do them all the time.
So
They're
it's-
fun.
So there's two walls, one right to the right of the
This is inside the town hall.
No, yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
people listening might not know, but we're talking about inside the town hall.
right.
One is to the right of the elevator, and then the other one is right across from the elevator. And we're looking at the size of bulletin board, like right there. And it would be a mural, and I just quickly drew a couple finger things. It was by hand, something that might be like, this could be some kind of a metal white, and then two people would stand there, and these would be flowers, vines. It would be just enough for a photo. And then I thought we could put a horizon line there with some water there and a boat or something, since many of these people are servicemen. So it might be too much, but it could just be basic floral. It could be wooden, I'm gonna give him a couple options and show him a couple of bridal magazines and things like that. And then I thought perhaps you and I could decide on what look we want to have, and it has to fit in with a camera. It has to be like, something that they can actually use with stand there and take a picture of a
If you
couple.
can do the smaller one, you got plenty of room to back up.
And
Plenty of
that's
room
important.
to do it. And they've put up a little bit of a divider there too, which would make it just a little more private. We just have to, actually, your Menesis was the one I spoke to.
John?
Yeah, and I told him what I thought would be nice to do there. We'd had people talk about it, we talked about it. And he thought it was a wonderful idea, and I said, John, there's something that you have to do, and he said, yeah, I know, the contract. So he said he's done kind of what was the word he used, boilerplate or something, dummied it down, or I don't know exactly what he said.
You mean the one that I gave him?
Yes.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Yes, so we will have a contract, and we have the timeline because this money goes away at the end of the month. So
Which month?
This month,
this one,
that's a come, we have to come
we
and
don't
make a
have to have the
call.
work done. We
Yeah.
have to have a contract in the end.
I see.
Bruce, if you could help with the discussions with the artist, and then, nailing down like which, view would be better on that wall. Discuss some of the technical stuff of the mural. That'd be really helpful if you and I could work together with Cam. He says he could do the contract this month, and it'll probably get done like the next month or so.
Mm-hmm, okay,
He's looking at it right now, probably.
he is? Okay,
Now, this would just be painted, nothing physically there, just painted, okay.
Painted. But there's different
Yeah.
approaches. We're gonna keep them to a budget. We talked about about 2,000, under 2,000. He's gonna do it for that. And, we're gonna.
What's
once
his name?
his name is Cam, CAMBORTZ.
Different name.
And he's done like mural festivals.
Oh,
He's
nice.
done murals in the Midwest in the 1990s. And he has a sign company that he's does very beautiful signs for homes and for.
Where's he
businesses.
located?
Not sure where. his
He used to be
business
in
is.
Westerly.
Yeah, I think he still is. Yeah. He did the wall dogs. There was a big mural festival, so he's done several things.
Okay.
So, but I want you to give me your thoughts too on it. Okay, so we could meet with him privately, but we have to get an approval from the committee to go forward or to.
Yeah, just gather up the information. If we have to have a special meeting, we'll have a quick special meeting to vote on it.
Do we have a okay from the town?
John okayed it,
John Burt.
the town manager. He can do pretty much what he wants to do with the buildings.
Oh, that's good to know.
So he okayed that we could do the mural there.
Should we vote an amount of money not to exceed?
That would be good.
Yeah, 1 million.
Not to exceed $3,477.
Thank you.
No,
No, that's true.
3,000.
no, it's our budget that we have to spend.
Yes, I know.
But wouldn't we,
never
didn't we
know.
say we wanted to spend 1,000 on trees, though, if we could? So that's the money that we would try to spend for trees. So if possible, I would like to keep it to 2,000 and below. So we would have some money for trees.
Isn't there ARPA money? Isn't that what?
No,
I'm
the
so
ARPA
confused.
money is,
One?
you know, I had two grants, one of which did the garden over there with
Right,
Peter
right.
Woods. And the other one was for the sculpture, which never
Which is what that one's
never
coming
got
out of.
done. In fact, that little drawing you have is almost identical to the sculpture that was gonna be put outside for wedding photographs.
Oh,
Kind of
yeah.
interesting,
I know.
yeah,
So,
So,
no ARPA money, in other words,
okay, it's out of the town budget money then. I'm just trying to make sure I
it's
get.
gotta
this
be our
here.
money.
well, it doesn't mean we can't go forward with it in the future.
If there's a new council and town manager perhaps. Because
Well-
these guys are not gonna,
No,
they're not gonna roll over and, even though it's for the good of the town and they just don't wanna do
Okay.
it, they won't do it.
Well, I think that, I
Let's
think,
see what we can do.
yeah, I think, now John's very supportive of our group. So I think some of that has gone away.
Oh, good.
So, okay, I'll make a motion that we will, get a contract for a mural at the town hall, and the money's not to exceed $2,000.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. Let's see. What do you got, Jim? You got anything on your mind?
I'm good.
I heard that.
Oh,
but-
I have money to.
no,
spend.
should we take Sharon's motion earlier to everybody adopt an area?
Oh, yes, that's a good
Bec-
idea.
Because
Motion for that?
I don't know, I don't think
I don't
so.
think so.
Well, if you put it in as,
Just
if
putting
you
it
put
in
it
as
in,
a
it-
list, that's all.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, but if you put it in as a motion, then you have to follow up on it. You know, it makes it a little more official if you want. Whatever you're comfortable.
But it probably, if it flows into the problem of, we need the approval letter. We don't wanna
Right,
go too fast on that
right.
until we get that solved.
So step
Okay.
one is the
Okay.
approval thing.
Okay,
Once
That's
that's
fine.
taken
I'm out.
care of, then I can send out a message and I say, would you like to adopt a garden, blah, 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 and I'll run that all by you guys.
Great.
And, but we currently have gardens that we still need to make sure.
That
we have-
nobody's taken care of?
Well, we're taking care of them, but
Overextending.
people, yeah. So I will send those all out and maybe somebody wants to sign up, like Jim, I don't know.
I'll sign up for the Mystic ones downtown.
So that's John Kelly statue.
Kelly statue, the bathrooms,
Oh, the bathrooms.
And
I forgot about those.
In front of the bookstore.
and in front of the new store.
Yeah,
Lux Bond and Green.
I'm sorry, I'm not up on.
it's a new bookstore, isn't it?
No,
No, it's,
it's a jewelry store in
Oh,
Lux
it's a jewelry-
Bond and Green.
Oh,
Okay.
So is Carol and them not doing that anymore?
that's what
So you'll just check on that.
tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, before the rain, I'll go downtown and
Okay.
and if you need help with the statue in that area, let us know.
well, the statue, because the statue always has a T-shirt on. Because
Yeah.
the runners take care of that, and there was a ladder that they'd use to put the T-shirts on. And it was like right out in the middle, and so I just tucked it back, and it's so far it's stayed there.
So what I have is the top of Fort Hill, me, the police department. It'll be me, but JC helps us with that. And that's a big group that. but
Yeah,
I'll go and check on it and call people out. Town Hall Annex, potted plants, Missy, flagpole and sign, that area, Sharon, the new garden area. I guess I can continue to do. When the whole thing gets done, then we're gonna need a lot more
Well,
people.
I pulled some of the mudboard earlier, and it does come up, but oh, it's an awful lot.
I know. Spicer House,
I can help out there.
okay, so Sharon and
Add
Missy,
me on there.
okay. Shirley volunteered for the Route 117.
I'll just take the lower half and you guys can take. the
Right.
upper half.
And then Jim's got the John Kelly statue, the bathrooms, Lux Bond and Green. Shirley's got R4, Burroughs Field, Community Center, Senior Center, War Memorial near the
We
library.
have to get you some help.
And the town hall.
Oh,
and town hall?
If you wanna call me when you get out of Burroughs Field to do something, call me, I'll help you.
Town Hall.
You just tell me what to do.
I'm there for a very short amount of
Oh,
time.
okay. Well, if you've got quite a few, so if there's something I can
Yeah.
help with, let me know.
Sure.
So I will send this out to everybody and then we'll see what happens with that. And then once we're okay, we'll,
Burroughs Field has a very active watchdog because they posted on Facebook, there was animal waste found in the dugout. People are turning that fenced-in area into a dog park,
Oh.
so they finally ended comments, that was the past 2 days.
gross.
Okay, and I'm gonna try to find the group up at the high school that's been working on cleanups up there. If anybody comes up with anybody other than Bev Washington to call, let me know. I'll do that.
I have, just getting back to the trees, I have it from, the Yukon Sea Grant. These are the list of all the suggested trees and bushes that be planted here, like in areas like Groton. Instead of those road bushes, we could probably find something here that's just perfect. Leave the rose bushes, okay, but there are some native shrubs and things like that that are listed here. It's a beautiful, huge resource that we should take advantage of when we're
Yeah.
picking trees and when we're looking at, plants.
What's-
I had a class.
Wonderful.
Is,
Yukon.
is there a website from Yukon?
All of these
What's-
websites are right here. You might want to take these down, all these
Take a picture.
sources of,
Yeah.
where to get things and, it's a really good source of trees. It tells you where they should be planted and what type of a, location and whether the soil should be inundated with
You gotta
water
go around it.
occasionally or not.
Hang over her shoulder.
It's a really good resource. Look at
It's
this.
just
I
gonna
love,
send
I
it to
love
you,
this. This is a pretty good thing. too. We should be thinking about this. We should
Wow.
be looking at buffering.
Let me.
Mhm,
Every tree we plant is helping.
mhm.
That's wonderful. I like that. We may be a small group, but I think that Cindy got us trained to really keep moving on things and you all do a great job. And, I'm very appreciative.
Well, it's just trying to get the mugwort removed. Like out here, like you said, it should really be chemically.
Well, I think that,
Does, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well,
That's not me.
there has been success if you're persistent, which means that, I mean, at Spicer House, you managed to get all of it out, and it comes back a little bit, and then you can really take it out.
Same with Fort Hill, Fort Hill, we went up there, I was surprised there wasn't much up there at all. It was-
I don't think the town is going to hire a contractor to spray.
They don't have a person that's certified.
Yes,
Safe to
they
spray.
have a pesticide applicator licensed at R4. But I don't think that they're going to do.
Yeah, okay.
The, where are we talking about with, down in Noack? I mean, where we were,
Here.
oh, out here.
Yeah.
I took a picture of it. Thank you.
Something I'd like to do, is somebody remind me, because I forget about things, but if I, but I'm still, next year, I'd really like to have a meeting with the VOTEC. Because the VOTEC has a group that grows and learns about all this type of thing. And we might be able to get a group there. The only problem with a group there is the fact that they come from all over, and transportation is a problem sometimes. But maybe we could find a way to work it into when they're in school. And, you know, we have them
Sure.
occasionally help us on a project.
Did they have their sale yet? They've got that wonderful sale.
Yeah, that happened already.
They did? I must have missed it. I was gone.
Oh,
Your greenhouse.
Chris runs it, this is last name,
Is that
Chris. Guy that runs it. His last name.
Mark, you got anything you want to share with us?
No, thank you.
Well, I think this was a good meeting. All got things to do. And maybe if, I'll find out where that one is down in the corner that they've asked us to look at. And maybe if that one isn't too huge, you could all give me enough direction that I could take care of that one. You know, I could sell you a house, but I don't know what plants are around the house.
I think it gets difficult in neighborhoods because there's people that live around there and it's hard for us to go in and if they're not gonna help, I
Yeah,
guess.
no, I understand. And first I'll find it, then I'll talk with Roscoe, and then I'll see who in the area might like to work with us. That area has changed immensely,
And
immensely.
if he has an address of where I should look
Yeah,
for an
Yeah.
award.
But
I'm-
I know what you're saying, but the only place that I find any hesitation now is in the very back, in the middle. And they're putting a bike thing through
Yeah, I
there,
know, yeah.
and I think that's gonna impact that neighborhood too. So,
Park, drove down.
But I mean, any neighborhood. I mean, you know,
Pump
what
track.
happens if somebody in Tanglewood
Call it
all of a
pump
sudden says,
track.
can you come and take care of this area for us?
oh, yeah.
You know, I mean,
I-
where does
No.
right, you know?
Yeah.
it's
Where
like
does
it's
it
so-
end? Yeah.
where-
Well, plus, they were talking
We're not
Pleasant Valley.
landscapers.
I guess Pleasant Valley School, their talk last night was the neighborhood fill-in and the neighbors want a park and open space there as part of the plan. And it's like, I don't wanna volunteer us to.
Well, you know, I
Well-
think we know that there's nobody to take care of another park. There just isn't. So, you know, they got the horse behind the cart. They gotta look at the fact that if you get somebody to do something like that, who's gonna take care of it?
We could use a new member who maybe is a volunteer coordinator. Maybe we can find someone like that who really is not a gardener, but could help us with the outreach part. Getting,
Well, a lot of our coordination is me sending a text with, are you available tomorrow type of
Right.
thing, so. It's not really something that,
I think that part works good.
yeah,
I just think if you want to expand into
Correct.
new.
We need to have.
You know, I
another
mean,
layer.
I would love to see underneath like the Welcome to Groton sign, like
Oh, definitely.
just some, you planted bulbs there. I never get to see them because they whip them down before I get here. But a nice little simple underneath there, the community center sign, just something simple underneath there. But we just don't have the
the water.
You know,
staff to
there's a-
do it.
There's a fellow, maybe some of you can remember, I talked to him one time, but it's been quite a while. There's a guy in Wesley. That if you get in touch with him, he'll bring a whole group, this big truck, and he'll come in and work on a project. Does anybody remember who that is? I'll ask Cindy. I'm sure she remembers, because we did it one time with them. And they're,
A
you know,
company, an organization, or
just volunteers,
volunteers, yeah.
Are they people who know about blank?
apparently. I don't know really, but maybe Cindy. I'll
I'm
check
sure
with
they
Cindy.
need direction. You'd have to direct them. to what.
So the Spicer House, when that was done, it was with the Pollinator Pathway, the group from Pollinator Pathway, and we thought they were gonna take it over and
That's not what they do.
no.
They plant and leave.
They give you guidance.
Yeah.
In the initial project.
Well, they planted with us. Then that was it. So it's,
You know,
they have
the
their
other
own
thing
big
that I'd
huge project.
like to
They're
do
very
sometime.
successful. No, they're in the.
I'd like to do a presentation to the council, if they ever get where they're paying attention to anything. Because I think they should know the things that have been done and the things that are being taken care of and, you know, it would be good to share that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
we've thought about asking them to come on one of our projects, like,
I'd love to.
you know, I know like Bruce Jones is good at going to a lot of different stuff like that, but if, you know, like if we had a area, like if we do the town annex here, ask them if they'd like to help us.
Yeah.
Finish it.
You think we could, I'd like to ask who's supposed to be taking care of that area down across from the Seahorse. It looks so bad.
That circle, we can't believe how bad it looks. At Esker Point.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where we
Yeah.
were.
With the poison ivy and the
Yeah.
dead juniper.
Did you ever talk to anybody about that guy with the truck?
Did you call anybody? Remember you, that?
There's
Oh,
no
for the
cone.
watering?
There's
No,
no
the-
cone.
No,
no
no, for
cone
the
guy.
electricity.
Don't say the name. Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
I put in a request. Said I wanted to know how somebody could have that availability. For something that looked so bad and something that was using town power. And I know I'll get an answer. But I did put that in. That really bothered me.
Yeah,
You
sure,
know,
absolutely.
It's, what, I don't care in a way if it stays, but what about the other people that come down and they have to set up and they have to have their own power and they have to leave when the event's over? It's just not
Yeah, something.
the way it
Something's
should
not
be.
right,
So anyways, I did send out,
We learned a lot by that little walk across the street, didn't we?
yeah. So, I guess the next thing though, I didn't put it on the thing. I didn't even think about it. We got to set up when we want to do the fish. We probably could do that with. I'm terrible with names. Who's she work? She's working in planning now, isn't she?
Tabitha?
Tabitha?
Tabitha. Because she had a lot of ideas of how she wanted to do it. And,
Do you want me to contact her and see what we
yeah,
can do?
get in touch with her because I think that
She's
she.
Parks and Rec now, so.
She is manager of Parks and Open Space.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Well,
Did
might
I
not
get
be-
that right? Something like that.
Might not be
I
the
looked
right
it up
one
when we got-
anymore, right?
I was just surprised.
Tabitha.
You love titles.
I'll find out who the right person is to call. I might call Tabitha, she can tell me what to do, okay?
Yeah,
About the fish.
she'll probably want to coordinate some of it, so.
Yeah,
The installation, you're talking about a date for the installation of.
Yeah, cause she was, she wanted to do it earlier, and we said, no, we wanted to wait. So it was an appropriate time to put something down there, when we could have activities that are going on, people could see what was going on. We'll have it in the paper that we're gonna be doing it, you know, we'll build it up.
Is that our responsibility or is that another department's responsibility for the installation and setting?
They do that.
Public Works
Public Works
will
will
do that for us.
and they're very good with it.
Wouldn't they be the people to say when they're gonna do it?
Well, first we'll ask Tabitha when she would like to do it.
Yeah.
And then we'll check with Public Works and ask them to coordinate. And we'll get a date and then we'll plan so that everybody knows what we're doing.
They might get a call for a party, an invite, come for an opening or something. That might be what the next
Yeah.
thing you'll hear, or
You know, we can go to the council, tell them we've got a date, we're gonna be doing it, we hope they would all be there. You know,
Mhm.
get as much out of it as we possibly can. It's a very impressive project that you put together there, Missy.
And non-taxpayer money,
Yeah,
taxpayer money. That's a good point.
the big thing.
Good point.
you know,
That's a big one.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely.
and you said you've taken lots of pictures, right?
I have loads of pictures.
You did.
Pardon me?
They're all on Facebook,
Okay.
yes, loads of pictures.
All right.
Loads of pictures.
What
So
I'd
we can
like to
pull them
do,
off anytime.
is anybody real techie?
Used to be, not anymore.
What do you need done?
Well, I was thinking about taking those pictures and set it up to go into the council and do a presentation. And I want the pictures up on the big screen.
We could probably have Sean put something like that together with us. He'd be the guy,
Yeah,
he'd be the
yeah.
guy that,
But I think you should also do, the baseball figurine too. So just wait, maybe in the fall we could do this, so when everything's kind of falling into
Oh,
place.
I wouldn't push it off.
No, I,
Not even that fall, maybe the end of summer,
Well, we could do
midsummer,
it twice.
twice,
We
okay,
could go in when we
Yeah.
have that project done and
Okay.
show it to them.
Yeah, that's.
okay.
But I
Yeah.
think that the public needs to know how much we've done, how much you've all done. And, we might be able to, we'll stress the fact that we need more people when we're having a work
Mhm.
day and,
Mhm.
anybody that would like to come to our meetings are welcome to come. Please at least watch us online,
Mhm.
but we need to go in and let them know.
I have like 750 followers, but that doesn't, see, the problem is if nothing's going on and not much gets posted, all of a sudden you start falling down to the bottom of everybody's. So it's always important that's why I've always said, please get on the Facebook page and like it and look at the pictures and, say stuff about it, because then it shows up in more people's feed when you do that, so.
What I'll do is I'll get mine set up and I have an extensive list because
Mhm.
past clients and so forth. So I'll start forwarding, because the majority of those people are here in
Right,
Groton.
right. And honestly, JC is great. He has been a big supporter, the RTM moderator. He has been a big supporter and he's always at the RTM meetings, letting people know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
he's-
asking for people. And David Good, he's fabulous too. He's always shown up for stuff, so.
Yes, he and I
good
got
guys.
past arguing about how we were gonna do the budget.
Oh, whatever, but they're very, very helpful.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
He was my neighbor.
JC,
Yeah. When I lived on Shennecossa Parkway, that's where he lives.
great guy.
And I had the pool, so I got to see everybody.
Yeah.
I'd come home and there'd be beer cans lined up on the side of the pool. I go, how many are in there?
Pass that over to her.
Hello, I'm.
I could shoot.
Okay,
I could bring friends.
I think that was his phone.
Okay, so
Anything else for the good of the order?
I had asked for, beautification. Follow. Okay, I'll show you how to do it. Edging for Spicer Park.
Oh, that's right too.
Do we still have the money? I mean, it doesn't have to be done now. I mean, if we can wait until the next.
Do they have an estimate of?
They did. They sent it to me and, I'll forward on to you. It's gonna be. It'll be under $400. It has to be metal. It's probably about like $350.
You wanna make a motion tonight that we're gonna
Um,
approve? them?
If you want, but I don't want to take it out of this money. If you've already got that money, this
got
can
it.
happen next.
No, because that's,
We've got some money that we're not using,
Okay,
and it goes at the end of the month, so let's use it. So,
under 400 then.
yeah, just, get a
Yeah.
bill,
Not in- no.
get a bill, and we'll put it in.
Okay, so I can have them buy it. I can have Parks and Rec buy it. I'd rather them do it because I don't know if they won't do that.
I don't
I
know.
don't think so, because that would be a complication, because we're
It's
giving
not in our
town,
budget.
yeah,
Okay,
so we'll have to buy, just get a thing for what it will cost.
okay,
And where it's coming from,
okay.
and we'll put it in.
Okay, because I will want to work with Tabitha on that to make sure we measured. But I want them to make sure that they know exactly where they want to lay it and.
That comes in lengths,
Yeah,
so you have to buy
8-foot
enough.
lengths
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, please,
Yeah,
please do
okay,
that. That's
all right.
That's good use of this money.
okay. It won't have to edge. So do we need a motion on that?
Yes, would somebody like to make a
I'll
motion?
move that we authorize
People, you're doing a good job.
Edging.
part,
Edging.
yeah, edging to be paid for
Up to 400.
up to $400.
That's how much it was last week. We'll see.
Yeah,
But the
Okay,
cost of a.
And that's coming out of which budget? The,
the money we're using right now, the 3,000.
good.
Second that.
Through seconds.
All those in favor?
I,
Hi.
Great. Oh, I think this was a productive meeting. I hope y'all,
Lots to do here, yeah.
are we done?
When's the next meeting?
a month from today.
I will not be at
We
the
don't have-
next one.
We don't have one in July.
Oh, we don't, that's right too, thank you. I was looking at it, and I meant to remind myself. That would be August, first Thursday in August. There's a, if you want, the
Seven.
schedule is on the town of Groton.
Yeah, I think that the 4th of July,
Yes,
our meeting would be like the evening of the 4th of July.
Oh, well, don't want to do that.
No, in July.
Oh,
That's why we,
oh, okay. Thank you.
But we all have stuff to do, so meanwhile, we'll contact each other if we have.
Yeah, we've got the joint,
Text.
text,
Good.
that's
Okay.
great. I'm much better with my text than I am with anything else.
Too, yeah. Okay,
All righty,
thank you very much, everybody.
move to adjourn.
7:50.
Nobody showed up
so, yeah,
What's that?
second,
Well,
on Zoom.
nobody has to be recorded, so. I'm
I-
going.
I think, you know,
ooh, we
we
missing.
probably, our meeting's over, but just while you're saying that, it makes me